Hey folks, what makes this toy great? Today we're talking about Takara's mini toy shop collection Convoy, also known as Optimus Prime. This was a 2004 blind box release, which means you didn't know which character you would get until you opened up the box. And there were several different toys that were part of the collection, and I'm not very familiar with any of them except for one. You can see them pictured on the cover of the box right there, and one of them was this amazingly detailed little figurine of Optimus Prime. He doesn't transform, but he came in both modes, robot and a boxed version of the truck, along with some other goodies, which I will show you in a moment. He's incredibly small, and here he is compared to world's smallest Transformers Optimus Prime. You can see he's only about 3/4 or 2/3 of the height. And despite how small he is, they've managed to bring in a lot of detail that I think you'll appreciate. So let's take a closer look, and we might as well start with the head. I think the head sculpt is a really good rendition of the toy and maybe even has a little bit of early comic book interpretations. There are also hinges on his shoulders that are exactly what you see on the real G1 toy, where the head flips out from inside the cab. Looking at the chest, we've got the clear windshield and even the windshield wipers molded in. But the most striking feature here is the beautiful chrome paint on the grille and the smokestacks. Looking at the back, it's pretty clean, but there are these curious slots whose purpose will become apparent soon. Having the toy in hand gives a better sense of just how small this is, and correspondingly makes the attention to detail all the more impressive. We've got the rear wheels, the fuel tank, the front wheels, the smokestacks, really every detail of the G1 toy is carried over. Even the slots in the front bumper are present. So, what then is the purpose of these slots on his back? Well, that's easy to see once we look at the front again. Taking a look at his waist area, you can see his headlights are in place as though he were transformed into truck mode. Those shouldn't be there when he's in robot mode, and that's because the way they molded this, they took the entire truck cab, slapped arms and a head on it, and that gave you the robot mode. So, what goes in the back in truck mode? The smokestacks. And the truck mode comes packaged in this incredible replica of the original Japanese Convoy box. The back of the box also has the legendary battle scene. And when we get him out of the box, you can see there's a full trailer. Up close on the cab, you see the same exceptional attention to detail that we saw on the robot mode. That makes sense since they're the exact same mold, just with the legs and smokestacks repositioned. And here's a side by side of the back, as well as the front. And the trailer maintains that same high standard of detail. Looking on the bottom, you see the stabilizer arms are present. We've also got the trailer door on the back, but more importantly, those little hinges it attaches to that always break on the real toy. I've got more than one metal plate Optimus Prime trailer that are in sorry condition because of broken trailer hinges. On the top, you can see the hole where the original toy's repair drone could extend through the roof. And on the side, of course, we have that unforgettable stripe and Autobot symbol. So, what makes this toy great? Well, I think all of those things are great, but the answer is the accessories. You're not going to believe what I'm about to pull out of this box. So, let's get it opened up and move the clamshell out of the way. The first thing we're going to look at is this miniaturized page from a newspaper. And this is a real Japanese newspaper. And this particular page is dated November 22nd, 1985. And you may recognize the headline photo there. It's, or at least the people in it. You've got Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev, who at the time was his counterpart leading the Soviet Union. And the headline translates to something like they agreed not to have a nuclear war. So this was referring to the Geneva summit, which occurred in the days just immediately before this newspaper was published. So November 19th through 21st. It happened in Geneva, of course, and this was a nuclear non-proliferation discussion and the first face-to-face meeting between Reagan and Gorbachev. And if you didn't grow up in that time, it's hard to imagine what the atmosphere was at the time. When I was a kid in school, we would actually have drills that were called bomb drills where we would have to hide under our desks, right? Because of the risk of a nuclear bomb going off. And, our popular media, like the movies and TV shows, often cast the Soviet Union, or the Russians, as we'd say, as the bad guys. So I think that's a really fascinating inclusion in the box. But let's get back to happier things like the Happy Bath Time Bath Bomb. Apparently, there's a toy in this bag, but I've never opened it up, so I don't know. But there's supposed to be a toy in there. Moving back to Transformers, we've got a miniaturized fold-out toy catalog, just like the kind that would have come with the toys back in the day. I've got a box full of these things. This one, I think, based on the presence of Red Alert on the front and Perceptor and the Dinobots on the back. This is probably a 1985 catalog. I bet if I put my reading glasses on and looked really, really close, I might see a copyright on there, but I think we're just going to infer. And the last surprise in the box is this teeny tiny, thumb sized, unused original sticker sheet for G1 Optimus Prime. How cool is that? So, what makes this toy great? Where do I even start? It could certainly be those figurines that have such amazing detail, faithfully recreating the original G1 toy. But for me, it's those accessories, those thoughtful inclusions that bring you right back to the mid 80s. And if you like this sort of thing, I hope you'll take a look at the other videos on the channel. We talk about history and trivia, engineering details, and repair techniques. Say hi in the comments. Let me know if you remember doing bomb drills back in the 80s. I hope you found this information useful, and we'll see you next time.